What is going on, you guys? My name is Rayge, and we are back today with a quick update video in regards to the Frozen Festival that now has been kicking off the December monthly events, but as well this new Snowy Spider Spectacle event. So guys, if you recall, I made an earlier video a few days back here just in regards to the preparation of this event, because this is the event that's going to ultimately allow us to unlock Spider Slayer here at 3 or 4 yellow stars, depending on how far you go into the milestones. And it's definitely one of the more complex, if you will, milestones that we've seen today, just because there's a couple of different mechanics going on, but as well now we got some full clarity that you know, these augmented orbs or these frost orbs that we can actually go through and purchase with gold, now it's actually live in game, so we can actually do a better analysis of how free-to-play friendly it is and what you will need to be doing each day for this 6-day event. So if you hit the eye for additional progress here, guys, just keep in mind too, this is what's going to be ultimately adding up to the milestone points, right? We're gaining progress by A, spending incursion energy, B, participating in the campaign Cold Snap web milestone, which is through the way of actually just using your normal campaign energy. And lastly, the opening of these frozen orbs that I alluded to earlier before. If you hit go here, it does give you now officially the live breakdown. My goodness, you can just see some folks absolutely just powering through this, because with this leaderboard, it is going to be the first opportunity here to actually unlock obviously here the diamond for Apocalypse. So really good for those leaderboard top spenders and so forth, but we're really just focused on getting through the milestone, guys, and getting through as many of the monthly items as we can, as well as capitalizing on the Spider Slayer shard. So ideally, guys, milestone 8 is essentially the unlock here. If you're able to get 20 million points right here, this is an easy unlock here for Spider Slayer. You're only going to get him, unfortunately, at 2 stars, but 45 shards. He's actually a pretty low ceiling to hit, which is great to see. But beyond that, the one we want to be aiming for ultimately is milestone 14 here for 44 million, because not only the Teal gear, obviously that's great to have, but as well the Spider Scarf is going to be the first monthly item for this month. So that's obviously going to be the game plan here. How free to play friendly is it, and how much do you need to be doing in the game in order to hit this over the next 6 days that this event is going on? So if you hit scoring here, again, I don't know why they seem to, you know, need to overcomplicate this. They can always just simplify some of the point additions, but definitely if you're not following along and, you know, breaking down each one, it is harder to follow, especially if you guys aren't used to the complexities going on in this event. But there's a couple ways, as I mentioned earlier. The spending of incursion campaign energy, which, by the way, we don't get a notification when this energy fills up, so it's just something we're going to be needing to check every single day. And the spending of gold is 1-to-1, as well as these frozen gear orbs that do actually translate to additional points. Now, if you guys recall from my last video, I did do a breakdown summary of what we need to be doing. So here it is right now. I have actually revised it now to include the free claim, but as well how much these frost orbs are going to be adding to this as a whole. So as you can see, guys, if you're spending about 200 cores per day for the additional campaign from incursion energy, you're going to be getting about 11.5 million free to play. Keep in mind, again, you're going to be needing 200 cores per day. So if you don't have this, this is going to be a pretty hard milestone to hit for the monthly event, just because the incursion campaign, as you can see here, it makes up a lot of the points here, a good quarter to a third of it, depending on how far you want to go to the milestone targets. The spending of gold, you are going to be needing about 13 million over these next 6 days, giving us a 1-to-1, so obviously 13 million points. If you do plan to use that actually directly on those frost orbs, it's unfortunately only going to add about 660k. So to be honest, it's actually not worth it unless you guys want to target certain gear. But to be honest, I'd rather have the autonomy to, you know, build up certain characters in your roster, upgrade T4 abilities and so forth. It just doesn't give us what we need. But if you, again, everyone has different needs in the game. If you do find that you need augmented or obviously the different materials or even the ISO 8, there's going to be an opportunity to do so. Unfortunately, it only adds an extra 660k. So really not even worth it, to be honest. And then, guys, a big chunk, again, coming from the web milestone, almost 20 million. This is keeping in mind that they have revised and added an additional 5 million points since the last blog post stats that they showed us here in terms of how the event was going to be structured. They did do a revision, adding 5 million, so definitely helps us here. And then lastly, the free claim is going to be about 1 million, assuming it's going to be running for the next 4 days here, and we just claim it at reset. So in total, that gives us the 45 million points, which allows us the opportunity here to hit milestone 14 for 44 million, or for the first item being the spider scarf. Now, having said that, guys, I also have down here milestone 19 just to showcase for you how far off, you know, how deep the milestones are, right? 96 million is essentially for all of the Spider Slayer shards. So I mean, it's pretty hefty in terms of how much you have to do. And again, if you guys have any characters you want to build up, this would be the time, because if you just want to use gold, this is one of the easiest ways at least to get a new character unlocked in terms of the shards. It's available directly through this milestone and simply just spending gold, or as well capitalizing on power cores. Having said that, guys, again, this is a summary, so obviously, if you want to save cores and you just want to spend more gold, you can do that switch, right? Spend less power cores, use more gold to offset. Conversely, if you want to preserve your gold, you can always use more power cores, and then that's going to add more points, because there's a really big threshold of 30 million here for incursion campaign, and with each energy, it's about 5,000 points, which is pretty notable in the addition of this milestone, guys. So that's pretty much an overview. I'm gonna be going for the monthly event just to get that out of the way, but other than that, I'm just gonna follow this game plan. It is free to play friendly. However, it's a darn shame that it's gonna be pretty tight after that. Doesn't really make you want to go for any other milestones beyond that, to be honest. If you can spend a little bit more, there's an extra 15 shards of Spider Slayer here at milestone 15. But other than that, I think that's probably going to be the likely limit for myself, guys. I like this point because there is some augmented gear here, some Dark Knight and so forth. So milestone 14 or 15 is likely going to be my target. And again, guys, if you're interested as well, now that this monthly activity has been kicked off, we have this new store here being Cold Hard Cash. So any of these activities, oh, awesome, we just got the whirlwind there. Any activities that you're going to be having with this Cold Hard Cash, you're going to be getting an opportunity here to utilize that to buy character shards. I personally would recommend, obviously, the Gear Tier 17 and 18 teal gear if you're building towards Dark Dimension 6. But if you head over to the orb section, this is what I was talking about earlier in terms of just using the gold here for this augmented frozen gear orb. We got the superior for orange gear, and then also the frozen ice. So this is where you would do that in order to spend the gold. It would add points. But again, like I said, guys, doesn't do too much in the grand scheme, especially when you take a look at the minuscule points that will add up over losing the autonomy of how you can control your roster. So there you guys have it. Let me know what your game plan is below, if you agree or disagree. But overall, at least it is free to play friendly. We just need to be more mindful of how we're going to be adding points to this milestone. So there you guys have it to kick things off in December. Best of luck with this event, guys. Thank you as always. I'll keep you up to date if anything changes, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.